Imagine yourself in a world 1,000 years ago, and you walk out your front door. There's no mechanical sounds. There's no airplanes. There's no cars. There's no machines. So if we're only hearing these same melodies, you hear cars going by with that same kind of pop song. Well, as I said, it's something I'm writing about right now. So music and the audible stuff is very, very interesting and very exciting. So this is a new phenomenon where musicologists have been able to recreate music from eras that we never could listen to before. So I was writing at one point about a festival in ancient Greece, and to put me in the mood, I wanted to hear ancient Greek music. Well, that doesn't exist. I mean, there are no recordings of it, but sure enough, there are. And the rhythms and the sound is so weird and alien that music captures the spirit of a time, right? So if we're only hearing these same melodies, you hear cars going by with that same kind of pop song, it's such a limited circle of harmony, such a limited circle of what music can be. But when you open up to African music, to music from ancient Babylonia, to Greece, to music in South America, other rhythms, other poetry in music and sounds, it's mind-blowing, it's interesting. So that's what I'm saying, that the human animal is much more interesting than we think it is. Reading about ancient cultures is a very mind-expansive project you can go on.
Are there any books you'd recommend in that regard?
You know what's so exciting now is they have these books called The Daily Life in Ancient Babylonia, The Daily Life in, I forget which city in India, The Daily Life in Ancient Greece, etc. And you get a feel for not just the grand philosophical issues, but how people ate, what their houses were like. And so I was I just wrote a chapter about our relationship to time and history. And I was trying to take the reader in my new book, I'm giving them exercises. And I'm saying, try to imagine yourself in a world 1,000 years ago, and you walk out your front door. There's no mechanical sounds. There's no airplanes. There's no cars. There's no machines. It's just birds. Maybe a saw and a hammer is the most you're going to hear. That's a strange thing. There are no signs. There are no advertisements. There's no words everywhere. It's kind of empty, right? You're just wandering around. There are all these kind of rancid, weird, horrible smells because people aren't bathing. But they're very human smells, right? Your whole sensory experience is on another level. But when you live in this 21st century world where things are so sanitized, where we don't smell these things, we only hear these packaged mechanical sounds, your sensory world is shrinking down and down and down. And you realize, yeah, ancient world, they had some bad stuff. They weren't very good. You know, they had slavery. I understand all of the negatives, so I'm not painting this portrait. But on another level, their realm of senses, their realm of language, their internal worlds were far richer than ours. And by connecting to that, by reading these books, not just the daily life thing I said, but actually text from those times. As I was mentioning, when I read a Zen monk from the 11th century and the different thought processes, it opens my mind to a different way of thinking, to a different way of accessing reality. But like, I'm reading a lot about Aztecs because I'm sort of obsessed with the Aztecs. I don't know why. And they had these amazing spectacles. That was the thing about the ancient world, these festivals and spectacles that are far beyond Burning Man or any rock concert, right? You know, I could describe the fire ceremony in Aztec culture that only occurred every 70 years. There is nothing you can ever imagine in your life that would be like that. It is so utterly spectacular. And so I have this 800-page book called Aztec Philosophy. And it's very theoretical, but God, it gives you an entree into a totally different way of thinking about the world, right? Where they have these metaphors that the universe has this energy. Some of the energy is like string that's being wound around in a certain way. It's like weaving, like other things like that, this kind of energy that the world has. Wow, this is fascinating. You know, our ancestors were actually thinking, but they're not they're us. Mm-hmm. It's a human being. We're all human. We all have those same kind of consciousness.
Yeah.
Very exciting because, you know, you can go out into nature, into the mountains, and you can feel that. And you can feel like this is what it was like 2,000, 100,000 years ago. But we don't have that feeling with human things because every city has its Starbucks, its malls, its generic culture that we've transported throughout the world. So to have a place where you can actually go back in time is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.